This is a fold phone. Apple has never made a fold phone before, so today we're going to do it for them. With the help of these 3 phones and 2 door hinges, we're going to be turning this into this. The point of a fold phone is so you can use your phone as a tablet whilst being able to put it in your pocket, I think. So now that we've got all these phones that we're going to turn into the fold, we're going to have to figure out where we can put these hinges. I was thinking we could just like shove them under the front screen, and then there might be a bit of a gap, but as long as it folds, we should be all right. So I was thinking what we can do is we can sort of shove this here, put that down, and then sort of grind all of these off, and then grind a bit of the frames just so it sits flush with the motherboard. This could also act as a bit of a heatsink, to be fair. And then once that's done, hopefully that would sort of be flush with the phone, then we can just shovel this in. Then we can sort of get some tiny bolts and then drill some holes through the actual frame, then drill it through the hinge. Then hopefully that can hold it in, and then we can just seal it with a bunch of glue, and then we should be all right. And for the other side, because there's a battery there, we sort of have like loads of room if we were to take it out. So we can sort of grind all this off because we don't really need this. Shove the hinge on top of the battery, maybe glue it down or something. I'll make sure to put some sort of electrical tape on here so it doesn't short out the battery and cause a slight explosion. Grind all of that off, stick it all down, and then that'll be them 2 hinges done. And for the phone on the outside, so we're going to put another hinge here so we can sort of fold it all out and have 3 screens instead of 2. Literally all I have to do is drill a few holes in there and then drill a few holes in that one. Screw them together, maybe use a bit of glue, and then pretty much it for that. There will be a slight gap, but you can never get it flush, can you? And then hopefully the end result should look a little bit like this. I'm just doing a bit of a mock-up, a little bit like that. So this is going to be the phone all the way on the left. All right, so now we can get our magnetic mat. All of this is still from the iPhone 13. I do need to sort that out, but there we go. All right, now we just pop these off. Careful, these connectors are fragile. You don't want to rip them up like that, because I used to do that. And I mean, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But make sure there's no loose, make sure there's no loose screws. I mean, there was a loose battery, but that double side tape didn't really hold up well. So this one is going to be the one where the hinge is on this side. No idea where my Sharpie's gone. So we got this off-brand thing. Does it work? All right, yep, it does. How are we going to do this? Should we cut notches out of this and then slap it down and leave some notches in it? You know what? Let's do that. Is that straight? Oh, I don't know if it don't matter if it's straight or not, does it? That's what James Charles would say. So we want the. You know what? Let's just... Hang on, I might need the vernier. How far along are you? 1/2 centimetre. So we're going to leave this much on. And then, is this... Yeah, it's about the same. Let's just do that. Leave 1/2 centimetre on, cut out this section. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sort of cut here and then grind sort of the top layer of this off, just so that this hinge will sit smooth to the motherboard, because, I mean, you can probably see there's a bit of a gap there now. And then we're also going to carve 2 grooves in there so that we can sort of place this on top of the metal frame, and it won't be able to get pulled out because sort of the frame will be holding it in. And if we need to, I might grind this bit down just so it stays a bit more flat. And then, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've just finished dremeling this thing and, well, sort of cutting into this. I was going to try and make this a bit thinner so that the screen doesn't bulge up as much, but my Dremel tool sort of overheated because it all sort of fell apart. But if we look at where these grooves are, and then we look at the grooves here, we can see it slides in, but also, once it's pressed down by the screen, yeah, that's not going nowhere. I mean, there might be a slight bit of wiggle, but hopefully we're going to cram this with glue, and then we should be alright. I also did have to Dremel off the top portion of the screen, because if you see there, you have to slide it up, and it was sort of getting in the way. And I also did nick the screen there, and a bit there, so the screen might not turn on anymore. It might do, but we're going to have to sort of test it. Plug this screen in. There's probably metal shards all in here, which might prevent it from turning on, but you never know. Put the battery in, shove the cable in it. It turns on. Look at that. That is mental. All right, so that hinge is going to be there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that hinge ain't going nowhere. I should probably put something below the screen so it doesn't sort of make pressure marks like that one. It actually worked. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer the home button and the earpiece speaker off the old screen onto this new one, so hopefully we can get Touch ID. No idea if it even worked in the first place, but we're going to find out. Oh, hang on, there's some double-sided tape under here for some reason. All right, so now we're going to trim these pieces off because we don't need them. Try not to damage. And actually, we can just bend it back and forwards, can't we? And then we can screw all this stuff on in a min. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Alright, so now that this is on, I mean, we are missing the grill bit here, but we don't really need that. Let's shove the home button on, because we've actually got something to connect it to now. So literally all you do with this is put that in there, and then that's on. Now we can screw this thing down. Alright, so now that we've done this side, and we've pretty much chop that out, and let's do this one. I think it's off. Let's just unplug the battery. Here we got a load of room, so we've got more space to play with. So it's about straight there. So what I'm thinking is grind it off. Actually, let's see where this hinge joins. Try and keep the volume buttons intact. So we're gonna grind it off here. Yeah, that's about from where it ends. Probably about there. It means we need to make this groove like from there all the way down to here. It is a bit of a big groove, but we want to leave a little bit on. So pretty much we just have to grind all this off and then cut it up to there, and then we'll be good to go. So now that this phone has been cut and dremeled, and this hinge as well on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to see if it fits. Yep, there you go. That'll do. Yeah, so once that is also pushed down, that's not going nowhere. It has got a bit of play in the hinge, but so we should be alright once we put it all back together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the home button and all this stuff from the old screen and put it onto this newish one. It's got a bit of a crack there, but well, let's unplug this power button. Oh, there you go. That just pops straight out. Shove a bit of alcohol on this connector just to get it ready and loose for when we take the metal plate off. There we go. Right, now that's off. Before we do that, we have to Dremel some of these off, don't we? Alright, so pretty much everything on this side then. Before we do any of that Dremeling stuff, I've just remembered I need to stick a hinge at the back of this just so that we've got a front screen from when it's all folded. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this motherboard so we can put some bolts through here and hopefully secure it down. I might even shove a bit of glue on it. And then, yeah. So I'm guessing to remove the motherboard, we just undo literally every screw we see and then hope it comes out. It shouldn't be as hard as that iPhone 13, but we'll have a look. It's already pretty much out anyway. Oh wait, I think this is the camera. Oh, well, let's take this camera out. Oh, there's two. That is a tiny sensor. We don't really need a camera, do we? Right, now it should come out. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Alright, so now that that's out, let's see where we can put the hinge. Should we put it there and drill it, then hope it doesn't go through anything? Right, yeah, let's do that and hope for the best, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now that this has been screwed in and sort of grounded out, the phone has gotten a lot heavier, mainly on this side. I think this hinge is probably heavier than the phone, to be fair. But we're going to see if this motherboard can sort of clear where them two screws are. Hopefully they do, because I got no more grinding pads. But I don't know if it's cleared it, but it has gone on top. And I mean, there appears to be like metal shielding where they're poking out. So we should be alright. Nothing should short out. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Alrighty. Let's just screw this side in first, which I don't remember which screws we used, but let's just use these long ones. If it goes in, we'll use it. Okay, that goes in. Oh, we are bending the board a bit. I think the bottom one's clear and it's just the top one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these screws in, but we're not going to fully tighten them. Oh, this power button's barely clickable. There probably is dust stuck behind it, but we should be alright. Alright, so the motherboard's sort of in. So let's put this screen on and, well, see if it still works. Hopefully it does, but if it doesn't, then we have to swap out the motherboard. Let's put some charge to it. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. Oh, alright, screen works fine. That's good. You know, I'm surprised this thing still turns on, to be fair. Oh, alright, yep. Touch works as well. The home button doesn't work because there is not one. You know what? Should we glue this on to the motherboard and hope it does something? Yeah, let's do that. Alright, let's put the battery in. You know what? To be fair, this glue is actually quite strong. I tried to rip it off the back of the phone, but it was not going anywhere. Right, I have no idea if any of this is touching. It probably isn't, to be fair, but... Oh, it's already on. Oh, look at that. Okay, adhesive is on. Oh, the battery isn't in. Let's not super glue the battery in. Oh, I didn't put the SIM card tray in. Now the hinge is going to be in the way. Well, that's my water resistance out down the drain. Right, we are going to put some slight glue on this hinge because, as you can see, it's extremely floppy and we want it a bit stiff. We don't want it too loose, and then we can work it in. Okay, how has that made it more floppy? Have we just lubricated it with glue? Okay, now it's getting a bit stiff. To be fair, look, that's odd. This takes about 24 hours to cure, but That's on. Oh, we're gonna have to glue it onto the battery. Should we do that? Is that a good idea? Let's glue it to the screen. Alright, this glue also came with some magic powder. Yeah, look at that. That should hopefully hold it on. Oh, my magic powder's stuck. We should probably wait for it to dry, but... So that's holding it-ish. Now we're going to get a hot glue gun and, well, glue the hinge down. Hot glue gun is warming up. And whilst we wait for that, we can figure out how we can connect these two batteries together. I mean, it's a bit obvious. Positive on positive, negative on negative. Might have to get the soldering iron out. Oh, wait, we might actually have to... Actually, no, it's alright. Because the screen's going to be lifted up slightly, we can just feed it through the screen, can't we? Because so we might have to Dremel some of the body out, but a bit late for that. Should we even solder this on there? Should we just hot glue it on there and hopefully it's let's just do that. Alright, let's get the wire strippers. We could sort of try and feed it underneath the battery. Why is the gun not pushing the glue in? Alright, looks like we're going to have to push the glue in by hand because the gun's not doing it for some reason. There we go. Let's flatten that with something. Got another iPhone chassis, that'll do. There we go. That seemed to flatten it. Oh, I remember what I was doing. We was going to secure this hinge down, weren't we? We might as well glue it to the battery. As long as we hot glue it to the battery, we'll be alright. Let's shove a load in there. Bit like screws, they are. Hot glue screws. Might as well do the same to this side. Probably help it hold in place, but probably won't do much. Let's try not to glue the button down. There we go. Now we can just glue all the way around this hinge. Might as well glue over the battery connectors. There we go. Look at that. Alrighty. Oh, it's not level. Oh, this battery keeps coming out. You know what? I've got an idea. That should hold it in. That's what all the best phone repair shops do. Right, now we need to see how much wire we need to leave out. So when it's folded, you know, that's perfect amount. I think this is one of the best things I've ever done. If we wrap the wire around the hinge, we should be alright. Look at that. You know what, we might as well glue this battery in. There we go, because I think this is the one that's held in with double-sided tape, which isn't really that strong. Right, so this negative one should be able to route it through here, can't we? It does look like I'm trying to make a bomb, but I'm actually trying to connect the batteries together, hopefully. You know what, the screen should push all this down. If the cables start fraying, then they start fraying. Oh, the hot glue doesn't stick to the battery. You know what, we're gonna have to connect this cable a different way. Alright, so we got the positive and negative cable for the batteries. You know what, we can ground it to the body of it, can't we? All this leads back to the battery anyway. Let's try and get to the negative terminal of this battery. This grounds it, doesn't it? Right, we'll put it under that screw. Literally, to ground something, all you do is you get the screw out, and then you wrap it around it, like that. You sort of make a hook around it with the wire, then you just screw it back in. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Hinge is a lot stiffer, but it'll probably loosen over time. So pretty much, I can watch whatever I want on this phone, and then write an email on this phone. Unless there's some way to connect them together so you can use this as a keyboard and this as a screen. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to connect all these batteries together. Let's chop all this hot glue off because it is getting in the way. And then hopefully we can set the screens down. I don't think we'll be able to connect these two batteries together. I think what this is doing is this battery's giving all the power to that battery. That's why this one's got barely any. So let's just scrap this. Yeah, there we go. Now it turns on. As soon as I disconnect this, it turns on. I think this battery was trying to give it all its juice to that one. Although, to be fair, the percentage has gone down. I don't know. Also, with these wires here, the screens won't really fit flush. So, gonna have to get rid of them. Alright, so now they're in, let's screw down the screens, and then let's sort of try and fit the iPhone 7 to the side. Let's add some electrical tape. So we don't expose positive and negative terminals. See, the problem we have now is because sort of the hinge is in the way and the screen's lifted on that side, so we're going to have to lift the screen up on this side so it can sort of close. Literally, if I just shove a load of hot glue under this side, we should be alright. Alright, yeah, because there the screen's flat on that side, so let's just fill in with glue. So then it'll be like that. And then it should... Oh, that is still a bit of a gap. We'll sort it out, maybe. That gap still is quite big. You know what? It's not as big as it was before, though. Alright, so now that these two phones are attached and working, now what we have to do is we have to put this iPhone 7 at the front here, which means taking the screen off. I'm going to replace the screen anyway, because it's a bit... So what we have to do now is, well, take the screen off here, and I think the battery's on this side, and then we can screw some holes in, drill that, and then we should be good to go, hopefully. So yeah, let's do that. There we go, look at that. Oh, right, okay, good. There's no brackets holding them down, so that's alright. Alright, so now what we have to do is take this battery out, so we're going to use a bit of alcohol on these pull tabs. We are going to reuse this battery. It's going to ping out. There we go. Now all we have to do is line this up. That's about flying. Actually, we can do this, can't we? You know what, we'll just guess. We're probably only realistically going to be drilling them two out. And then, yeah, let's get to drilling. Let's clean the screens first. Right, there is a slight glue stain on this screen. So we got an iPhone 7, we've got two iPhone 6s. I think this iPhone 7 does need updating because it's like on iOS what? It's got 128 gigabytes to be fair, so yeah, it's on iOS 15, which is like 2021 I think. If we only wanted to use one iPhone, then, you know, wanted to use two, we'll do that. But if we want all three, so if you want to see me use this as my personal phone for the week, then, you know, 500 likes and I'll do it. So thank you people for watching, please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and also let me know what you want me to do with this. And we'll see you next week. Transition.